Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wednesday drawing session with me, Frank Cho. Today, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to show you how to draw the female torso. So let's get to it. Now, the female body, ideally, I often draw as 8 heads tall. So you can count it as 8 heads, roughly the 8 heads tall. And when you draw the female body, there are certain things that you should know. The head should be small, the neck should be long, and the shoulder is roughly the same width as the hips. And the waist should be skinny, and the hips should be kind of wide and round. And the legs and the arms should be long and slender. So that's the basic general rule of drawing a pretty woman. And don't forget the midline. And so I'm going to show you the basic masses that you should be aware of when you're drawing the female. So you have the head, the neck, and the torso and the hips. So when I do that, the head is the oval, and the upper torso is a triangle, and the lower torso is an upside down triangle. So that's the basic general shape, and already you can see just doing this 3 quick figure, it looks like a female. So I'm going to just draw the very basic comic book pose. Well, when you're drawing a comic book, it's all about, to a certain degree, a caricature of the human anatomy. And my style tends to lean toward more realistic style. It's not too stylized or cartoony. It's actually pretty, it tends to be more realistic than other artists. So I'm going to just draw the basic figure standing, which you see and will use in all the comic books when you draw comic books. So you have the head, and then there's the long neck, and I basically drew the line for the shoulder, and there's the midline. Now the midline represents roughly the where the spine is and how the figure will dictate the figure's posture. And so when you're drawing the female figure, essentially you're drawing a male figure. Male and female basically have very similar muscle structure. So when you're drawing a female, I like to draw basically a very slender male. That's how they're built underneath. And so when I'm basically starting out, I'm just essentially drawing a kind of like a teenage boy's body. So you have the wide shoulder, but the huge difference is they have the figure I draw, women figure I draw, have a narrow waist and kind of a wide flaring hips. So that's the big difference. And also the hip, where the hip is, the top of the hip bone, is actually higher up than male, and that right there is where the ball and socket is roughly for the legs. And that's it. I mean, just upper body wise, the structure is very similar to a skinny male, but lower structure is different. It's similar, but it's very different. The hips is wide. The hips are wide and kind of high up. You can see the upper top of the hip bone kind of rest pretty high, unlike the male. And I'm drawing the pectoral muscle. So underneath the breast, the pectoral muscle are exactly the same, and you can see where the direction of how the chest muscle, the pectoral muscle, is connected to the shoulder area. And I'm just drawing the long, slender, tapered arms to kind of give you a rough gauge of how and where the arm falls. Again, so once you know your anatomy, it's everything just is pretty easy. I learned my anatomy by looking at a lot of art books and a lot of bodybuilding magazines. So I used to wrestle and lift weights. I still do, and I would often look at a bodybuilding magazine to get tips on exercise and stuff like that. So lifting weights really helped me understand the human body. So when you're drawing the rib cage, where the rib cage and the stomach meets, the rib cage actually kind of points. It's almost like a point. It's not rounded like like a male crab. It's actually it's kind of like it's pointed, and it's the angle of that point is about 60 degrees, and then just below the where the hips start, around the midpoint, that's where the navel, the belly button is. So there I am, just kind of quickly indicating where the leg is and the arm, drawing the forearm, how it kind of tapers down. Now another key to drawing a female, pretty females, don't draw the hands too big. They should be delicate, with long, slender fingers. You don't want to give a woman like a giant man hand, or a big thick wrist. So everything about the women, you have to kind of think of it as slender and graceful. So there I am, just kind of re-indicating where the chest muscle is, and there's the midline. And so, again, reinforcing how the shoulder is roughly the same width as the wide part of the hips are. So it's that muscle indentation where the chest muscle meets the shoulder muscle, how it kind of folds into the shoulder muscle. You basically have to show that. I mean, once you understand where that is, it's easier to place the breast. And now, don't use a template for a circle template for a breast. Breast is actually is shaped like a teardrop. So it's kind of round in the bottom, but it kind of tapers from yeah, and it actually kind of like it doesn't droop down straight down. It kind of comes at an angle, comes out of down and out. And so the breast is kind of falls down and out. And so I'm just kind of like indicating how the fatty deposit of the breast kind of falls, and showing you again how it's kind of shaped like a teardrop. Now I'm gonna draw the side view. Side view is also important because in comic books, you draw a lot of side views, a lot of people standing around. In modern comics, anyway, a lot of people standing around and talking because a lot of writers want to be a TV writer and just want to show off their dialogues. So there you get a lot of superheroes just standing around talking, just jabber, jabber, jabber. So here's the model, anatomy model that I often use. Just kind of show you how the pectoral, the chest muscle folds. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm basically showing you how the side view is. Again, the side view is I keep using the word teardrop, but it really is. You have the upper teardrop shape and the lower teardrop shape. So the women, you don't want a woman to slouch too bad, So there I am, just showing kind of like the two teardrop shape, or a bean. Some people like to compare the female side view as two beans, like bean shape, almost like a shmoo. I guess I'm dating myself. So Shmoo was a character created by Al Cap for Little Abner comic newspaper comic strip many decades ago. So yeah, so you can see how the chest is kind of thrust out, and how the back, the butt area is kind of thrust back, to kind of creating this kind of a nice curve. And there I am indicating where the pectoral muscles are, that folds into the shoulder area. So once I have the pectoral muscle, you kind of can figure out how the breast will fall. Now the breast size, you can basically, depending on the character, you can adjust the breast size according to the character. Again, there's the rib cage, the intercostal muscle. So the neck muscle actually kind of connects to the back, from the back of the head, side back to, and it kind of like tapers down into the notch in the between the two collarbones. And the butt is, you kind of want like a nice slope to the butt. And so there you go. Again, the three shapes: oval for the head, and the two triangles for the upper torso and the lower torso. And there you have it. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the female torso, part one.